Hi everyone. Many a times you will get to find Excel sheets that contain cells which have intentionally been left out as blank or empty. And these have been intentionally left out as blank or empty to improve the readability. However, the issue is if you need to apply any filter or say sort your data or say create a pivot table or perform any sort of data analysis, you will have to fill these blank cells with data. So the business case for today is how to fill your blank or empty cells with data. Say we have a data sheet here wherein the region column has got few cells which have intentionally been left out as blank to improve the readability because this entire data set belongs to the east. This entire data set belongs to the north. But the issue is, if I try to apply a filter to see the total employee count of my east region, I hit OK, I get to see only that particular row or data wherein the cell actually had the value mentioned as east, which is incorrect. So now let's see how to easily fill these blank cells with the data that is just above our blank cell. So the first step in this approach is to highlight or select all my blank or empty cells. For that, I'll first have to choose the data range where my blank cells are present. I do a Control A and my entire data range gets selected. Since this is a continuous data range, when I did a Control A, placing my cursor anywhere within this data range, my entire table of data got selected. Now next, I have to highlight or ensure to select all my blank cells. For that, you can use, there are two options. The first option is to use the shortcut that is Control G. You use the shortcut Control G. When you hit on this shortcut, you have an option here beneath called as special. It's special because I have a conditional selection of my cells. So I use the special option and my intention here is to select all the cells which are blank. So I use this option called as blanks here and click on OK. Now if you notice, all the blank cells within my data range have been highlighted. Next step in this is to make sure my blank cells take the data from the cell just above it. So my cell, say A3, is supposed to take the data from A2. So I go here to my formula bar and write equal to A2 because that is where I want my cell A3 to take the data from. If you notice, this equal to A2 is not just applied or entered in my cell A3, but I want all my blank cells to get this particular formula. That means I should not press enter. Then what should I do? I should instead press Control and enter together. And the moment I pressed my Control and enter together, all the blank cells that were highlighted got this formula into it. If you see now, This is where I had written equal to A2, that has got the formula. This has got equal to A3, this has got equal to A4, this has got equal to A5, this has got equal to A6. Next is not, because that is not a part of my blank cell. Again, if you notice, all the blank cells have got the formula. So if I would have pressed enter, only the first cell would have gotten this formula. So instead of pressing enter, I ensured I pressed control and enter together to make sure my entire list of blank cells that were highlighted got this formula into them. Now the only catch here is all of these cells do not have the literal values, they have the formulas in them. So to be on the safer side, I select this entire column, I do a Control C, that is a copy. If I do a Control V, again these cells are just going to retain the formula. I have to do a spaced special. I have to ensure I just paste the literal values and not the formulas anymore. So I do a Control Alt V. Control V is my normal paste. Control Alt V is when I want to choose certain special options of my paste. And here I choose the option as pasting only the values. Click on OK. So my paste has been, the paste operation is completed, and I see all my formulas have been replaced with literal values. And my job is done. Now say I apply this East filter here to check the employee count of the departments belonging to the East region. Ta-da! I got all the data that belongs to my East region, which was not happening previously. Now we see another example. See, this is a typical data wherein employees' attendance have been marked against the days of a month. This is a matrix data. This is a typical way of presenting an attendance data. And here I happen to see a lot of places where there are blank cells. And the data set is so huge. The blank cells here mean that there were no attendance marked on that particular day by that employee, which ideally means an absent, which would require a review. And if I just try to scrutinize this data, I'm bound to miss at least 10 out of 50 blanks that have been presented to me. So if these blanks are highlighted to me in some catchy way, I would for sure not miss out these blanks. So again, my intention is to update all the blank cells within this attendance data range with, say, some fancy color, or say some fancy font, or some, let's say, some data. So again, our business case is to fill the empty cells with certain data. So say I'm in a cell within this data range, I do a Control A and my entire matrix or my data gets selected. Again, I have to highlight or select only the blank cells. The first way to go to a blank cell or select a blank cell is to do a Control G, that is the shortcut key. Or the same go-to option can be found in your Home tab on the top. Towards the right, you have the editing group, you have the find and select option, and this you have the go to special option. So this is how the same way how you come from a Control G and use the special option. This is the same way. So I use this Control G, special, or the go to special option. Choose the blanks. Choose the blanks, because those are the ones where I have to fill or enter my data. I choose the blanks. I click on OK. Now all my blank cells have been selected. Now I want to ensure the font color, whatever I write here, has got the font color as red, because that is something catchy. So I went here to my font color. I clicked on the red color option. Then I go on the formula bar and I write absent. But if you notice, the absent option is coming up only on one of the blank cells, but I want this to go to all the blank cells that have been highlighted. So is pressing enter the option? Just think. No, that means it would not get copied to all my blank cells. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to press Control and Enter together and see the magic that happens. All my blank cells have now been highlighted or filled with the data absent with the font color red. This is something that is a bit glaring to my eyes, and when I scrutinize, I'm sure I'm not going to miss the absent data as I would have in case these cells were altogether blank. Hope this was useful to you. Do watch out the space for more such Excel tips and tricks. Thank you.